Jim, can you hear us?
So I just see a J. It looks like he is in the meeting. He is muted, and I don't have visual.
Is there a reason, where's the UI restrictor from screen sharing? That's one of the maps.
I've been.
Yeah, okay.
I think
That's
so.
pretty relevant.
I've been in there and like, what about this and what about that? And
I just wondered who was bothering. There. Oh, yay. Hey, Jim.
we can't hear you.
Jim, can you hear
We
us?
can see you.
I can now. Sorry, I had to accept that it was being recorded. All the other clicks were useless. So I think
Yeah.
the issue with the link in the minutes is that it doesn't cover, only covers half the link. So when you click on it, it doesn't get the complete link. Anyhow, we'll know for next time.
All right, welcome.
Always striving to improve.
We're on agenda item number 2. Any adjustment to the agenda, additions or deletions? From anyone? Okay, hearing none. Number 3, public comment.
No public.
No public. Okay, item number 4, capital improvement plan program review, draft CID program. And that is,
Feels far shorter.
is that a good thing?
Yeah. Oh, lighter.
So Lisa sent that around the various emails, and we all have a hard copy here as well. Lisa, do you want to walk through any relevant areas that we should be focusing on?
So I think where we left off in May, there were the 3 paragraphs. So Corinne, after the May meeting, went through, cleaned it up with all the changes we had made. And that left the 3 paragraphs that were highlighted that we.
First one's on page 6 under policy.
So this, we were trying to decide about capital expenditures that fall outside of the. Right, except for emergency contingent, no capital.
So I think this is the way things should be, but I'm just concerned, are we being hard ass?
I would, I'm thinking about the kind of the reality of day-to-day life and,
Realistic, yeah.
and it is in your terms, Jim, the best possible way, but I'm not so sure that in real life we can do that. Because opportunities come along or contributions come along and they are, you're kind of it's important that you accept them at the time of a big cash donation. And so I don't want to lose that opportunity for the select board to determine if it is something we can go forward with or not. I mean, it happened with the shed with the library, for example, which was a kind of a lifesaver.
And the Parks and Rec got a grant, $2,500
Yeah.
grant that they wanted to spend
Yeah.
before the year end, so there were some things that
Yeah.
it's gonna happen, right?
It is,
It's
just,
gonna
and
come
our
up
year
it's
is
gonna
kind
happen.
of cattywampus in many ways.
So I think we can just soften the wording by changing a little bit. So something like, except for emergency contingencies, capital expenditure appropriations should be presented to.
Or capital expenditure appropriations that require on funding through, what's the wording, raising taxes? There's a better way to put that.
So that would exclude grants and donations.
Yeah.
That would make that an exception.
There still needs a way for it to come.
Do
Yeah.
we want to consult the select board on? So I see there's 2 approaches. One is to change it from something that's hard and fast to something that should be done, and that would cover all capital expenditure appropriations. Or if I understand what you're saying, Corinne, there are certain capital expenditures, like those that are funded by taxpayers, that have to go through the CIP, and others that are funded externally don't have to. Is that what you're suggesting?
I mean, our goal here is to encourage townwide planning. So, which is why, from a idealistic standpoint, we would want everything except emergencies to come through us.
Yes.
So even if you've got a grant fund, we're still making sure that isn't a duplication, or it's something that if we put in the operating budget, you know, you could get a grant for a great thing that's gonna double your operating budget. The town might still wanna say no.
Mhm.
So to just. Yeah. Go ahead.
Isn't it this is just an idea, that all expenditures that are off cycle, that haven't come through the normal budget cycle, need to pass through this committee and then to the select board for determination. Isn't that kind of simple? But it kind of meets the
Well,
need.
It,
I don't
it
know.
adds a delay because they have to wait for us to meet.
Well, it's another option though.
But regardless, the select board has to approve it.
And we
Right.
don't know
Yeah.
that-
Well, they have to approve all grants too.
Yeah, I mean, we have, the shed's going through this, I mean, this week, I think, or something. So, I don't know.
No, I think Betsy came to the select board a few months ago and said, we want to get this grant for 10 grand, and
Yeah. And we got it.
Yeah. yeah.
And you've already bought it. It's already there, right?
Yes. Well, I'll tell you later.
So that didn't come through. It's here now. We have the appendix D this year, you know, but it was in last year's.
Yeah, we talked about it here. I brought it here, but it was only because I brought it and it was
Mm.
off cycle. And we didn't have a mechanism to deal with off cycle
Yeah,
events.
exactly.
So we brought it here, talked about it. You guys gave me guidance. I went back to the library board, told them what you said. And we went on to the select committee for a decision. So I guess that's what I'm supporting at this point until we get more sophisticated. I don't know how to solve the small off cycle things like the, $2,500 grants or.
Or maybe something like, no capital expenditures or generally no capital expenditure appropriations may be presented, blah, blah, blah. To the end, period. In the case of emergency contingencies or, other limited circumstances, or something else that puts a boundary around it, but leaves it open for review. I mean, that would certainly have to be, I guess, approved by the select board, as you said, but.
Yeah, you're kind of talking about like unique, timely opportunities.
Yeah.
Right, that have to be responded to and,
High priority, but not an emergency, but
right,
something that-
right,
Yeah, it's not an emergency.
so critical. You know,
I think we want to deliver the message that, look, we're gonna do this stuff off cycle. Right? If there's a real emergency. Or if there's something that's really high profile, very timely, but not an emergency.
Right.
Maybe there's a
Yes,
separate
yeah.
process for it.
I mean, I don't think we should turn out money if someone wants to give us money
right,
and there's an opportunity,
right.
grant or otherwise. That's all.
And understanding what Corinne said about what the implications potentially of operating expenses, which.
Right. So
How about
let's
this?
go
How
through
about,
No free lunch.
how about, get rid of the fair, except for emergency contingencies, because that's redundant to the last sentence. And just say, generally. No capital expenditure appropriations may be presented to a vote on ethics and city, select board or the town's defense. And then say, in case of emergencies or, I'm making this up, timing related. Requests. And this is where I want to ask a question. What if the select board decides to use a different fund other than the contingency reserve fund?
Or no fund at all,
Or-
because
Right,
There's
so
a
I don't know.
donation or something.
there's
I
a.
don't know if we should just, maybe we should just say, the select board, in the case of emergencies or timing related requests, the select board will determine the funding
Appropriate fund.
or determine
Source of funds.
the source of funds or something like that.
It's almost like we want we want everyone to follow the cycle. But off-cycle opportunities that come along, whether they are emergency or otherwise, still need to go through the same process. For determination. And the select board has ultimate decision-making on the funding source,
Yeah.
or yes or no. Yeah, this sounds a little scary to people, I think, except for. That's not our point.
Right,
I just don't want people going rogue, so.
No, I don't, yeah,
Will the select board have to approve this, this revised? And
I think so.
right?
Yeah.
Any more comments on or thoughts on that paragraph? Okay,
try to be right a bit.
next one is on page top of page 9. Under step 6, prioritize projects and expenditures.
So I don't
I think
remember.
with that one, we were just simplifying it down to those two sentences, right? It was
I think we
bigger.
wanted to make sure it tied back with the, ranking
Mhm. I think-
matrix, ranking.
Yeah, the model.
The model, thank you.
Yeah.
And I'm not,
Detailed and.
because there's a list previously in here of like, well, right above,
Right.
step 5. It's required, will mitigate, et cetera, et cetera. So I think,
Yeah, the community's most difficult task is they must evaluate each in relation to the others, determine their relative importances. Therefore, developing a list of priorities is critical to successful plan.
so does our ranking model deviate at all from the list in here?
In section 5, in step 5?
Yeah,
I don't think so. I mean, I really use this to
yeah.
come up with
Come up with the
the model.
Then that should probably, instead of developing a list of priorities, it should say the priorities listed in step 5 will be used or something similar.
I think it's okay. And this,
It
and
does
this,
In 6, it's saying that in this
Yeah.
step, committee's ranking, right? The ranking is here based on
and we're using
the
it.
criteria in step
Step
5.
5.
Maybe it's as simple as we wanted to put in here, we'll be using a ranking model.
Because I don't think it says it in step 5.
And we don't have it in the appendixes or anything, so,
Right, I think that's where we wanted to add it.
yeah. I
The
think it's
ranking
as simple as that.
Yeah, because step 5 is just listing things off without suggesting that there are priorities to them.
So after developing a list of priorities, et cetera, we'll put, the committee has developed a ranking model that will be used to rank every capital D submission.
Maybe that's what, we're gonna use the ranking model in appendix, C appendix, whatever it's gonna be.
Oh, added as an appendix.
Added in
That's
as an
what it says. It
appendix.
says, we use a ranking model, unless I'm reading this, unless I'm reading into
Right,
this.
and that,
Yeah, the
and that's what
ranking model.
determines the priorities, right?
Right.
Right,
So I think we got it.
and
actually.
that's based on.
Reading it.
Well, it says we will rank it. I think we want to say
Yeah,
that we
well,
have a
based on
method.
criteria, detailed, the step, the committee ranks capital proposal objectively based on criteria established by the committee, detailed in step 5.
Oh, so that's already there, but
That's
I
already
think,
there.
yeah, but I think
Yeah.
we want to say we'll be using a ranking model, like we've developed a model.
Develop-
We want
We've
people to
developed a
know,
model.
Frank, we have the model that Frank developed.
And again, see is that appendix 1, whatever appendix.
Maybe we did add it.
Yeah, I don't know.
So we would say in the stuff, the CIP committee uses a ranking model to evaluate capital proposals objectively based on criteria established by the committee, detailed in step 5, and so on.
Yeah.
This
You
is
could-
to make ultimate has us spend any of those two for the relative funds. I would suggest getting rid of the highlighted area entirely.
Just add it.
And then put in in this stuff, the CI committee will use a ranking model to prioritize, just put the word prioritize up there, ranking model to prioritize proposals objectively, comma, based on criteria established by the committee, detailed in step 5.
Do we figure out what appendix I is?
I can't find it. I've got.
I think
appendix
that's what we,
A through Z, A through C, D, E, F, and G are what's in the SharePoint.
and then H, I think
The
was,
timeline.
H, I think. H was, I think. The questions, right?
Oh, the FAQs.
Yeah,
So then,
We should
Yeah.
just say in the appendices, see ranking model appendix, whatever it is. Just so they
G,
know. what
H
they're
is
looking for.
frequently asked questions, so I was the next open letter, which is where we were gonna stick the model. So C appendix I would be the model.
Okay, perfect.
See ranking appendix
Yeah.
I.
So, you want to repeat that, Lisa?
So in this step, the CIP committee will use a ranking model to prioritize proposals objectively based on criteria established by the committee detailed in step 5, see appendix F.
Yep,
Lovely.
And then we're gonna take out the highlighted.
yep,
Okay,
Yes.
easy enough.
thank you.
Well, then he's, yeah,
Step 9, at the bottom of page 9, update approved projects.
So this is where we wanted the reporting back to us or whoever to, so that the monitoring of these
yes,
projects, once they've been approved and are
right,
now in production, whatever. Yeah. So that was something we struggled with of how do we keep this committee updated on what's happening on these projects as far as are they staying within the scope? Are they staying financially, over, under budget, whatever?
How often do they, wait, it's in here. How often do they have to report? How often will the big projects, I mean, the fire department have to?
Report
Yeah.
to who, us or the select board
Select
or?
board, anybody, I would, whoever's in, I would say the select board at least. What does the select board establish for a big project like this in terms of?
So they don't, right? I mean, there really isn't, like, I'm thinking about the water. Right now, we have those 2 big
No.
projects going on and they're, other than the select board approving loans or signing paperwork that is required, there is no
Okay.
feedback.
Well, I know we have really good,
Just an update at a meeting or something, but that's about it.
we have really good
Look forward.
structures and people working, but that, as a professional, that worries me. Outside of the town.
I mean, it should be something like, within 30 days of making a change that impacts projects to submit
From a cost perspective.
something, whether it's an email or just, or a formal form. But it's hard to say, do it every quarter or something, because people don't have any, it's create, make work.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, but wouldn't you want a check-in period anyway? I mean, if it's a project that's gonna go on for like 2 years, as some of these do, don't we have to have a check-in? I mean, in addition to
Should
what
you
you were
have a
saying,
check-in?
if there was I would think that much money, $1 million.
Right.
You'd have to, I mean,
I mean, honestly, we'd have the monthly.
most,
I
I was gonna
realize-
say, most companies have,
Businesses,
yeah,
yeah.
right.
And some things will come off the board, right? They'll come off the
Yeah.
list as they
Right.
get
Right.
executed.
Right.
It's just like,
right.
Right, it's really the longer term project, so maybe it's projects in excess of 1 year.
yeah, something good.
What is our goal in this monitoring?
To make sure it stays on budget, isn't that that they don't need
To
more
help to
funds?
assist the select board in making sure it stays on.
I think we
The
have to
town.
know if it's gonna impact this,
Right.
but I don't know if we're responsible for making sure that
Or not.
whoever's running the project in that committee should be responsible for keeping the project on task.
And ultimately, select board should know where they are, particularly
Right.
big
They
projects.
have to.
Mhm. So the select board
Maybe they could
gets
trust them.
reports. Financial reports at every meeting. So they're currently the one
There is a,
responsible townwide for monitoring that.
But a financial report would not necessarily show if the project's going over budget or, I mean,
Yeah,
it's a different category. You get
So-
very big things. Like
An estimate may come in that changes it, but it's not something that's been acted upon.
What if
Right.
you have a change order that sends it?
right, that one, yeah, that wouldn't be reflected in a,
But that's what, isn't this what, that
That's
isn't
what we're asking.
what this paragraph takes care of, it tells us, it
Yes,
would
that's the
say.
intent.
The Barbados Commissioners Boards, instead of saying will report, I would suggest say are required to report. Any variances in scope, timing and cost of approved projects to the town clerk, town treasurer, select board as they arise and then.
Yeah.
The town clerk, the treasurer will also bring these variances to the attention of this.
and maybe that's what we decided on last time, that between you and I, we would know,
I think Terry wrote this.
uh,
Because the way it's the town clerk, town treasurer, and so I remember him kind of struggling with those terms and.
But I think it's not bad, except it doesn't say the next thing in our responsibility is to, it's our responsibility to alert the select board, or is it the person leading the project's job to do, or does it slow to. don't
Well, I
know.
guess that's why I asked about goals, is because if it really is for budget variances. That there's, if we've approved the project and prioritized it and sent it along. And the select board's included it in the budget, at that point, it's really their. Bailiwick, isn't it? I mean, if it's, the budget's off,
Do they want to get all the
how are we
reports
gonna,
and communications from?
I mean, if our goal is planning
Prioritizing.
and prioritizing. If it's out of budget, then it's really a select board issue. I think maybe our concern with updates is making sure that. I mean, at least what they talked about at the CIP forum I went to in the spring is. One of. The biggest assets you can get from a CIP. Is the ability to anticipate and plan projects so that your larger assets don't fall into disrepair.
Mhm.
And so knowing where certain projects are at from a planning standpoint, I think is probably more our goal, but I don't think we're really sure because this is our first time through the cycle.
But I think what I'm thinking about is just how does the select board get it and what do they get?
Yeah,
And they're gonna need it. And so we don't have any role in that.
What
But
have
this isn't
all-
gonna be changed though, right? I mean, once this is passed through and the select board approves it and does what we're gonna do, there's nothing to do on this until next year,
mhm.
right?
I
Unless they
have,
ask us, the
yeah.
select board says, hey, can you take a look at this and figure out how we can?
I'm hoping that we're not really doing this in-depth of a review of this annually. It's just that we're just getting started, so.
What have we communicated to the committees and boards already about reporting back to us? Nothing,
Nothing.
about any changes?
Nothing.
I think just,
Update,
Yeah.
you know, when we sent out the forms,
Yeah.
any changes to ones you had previously sent in.
And-
Or any new.
And what do we want to, is this a recommendation to the select board because we're adding additional? Now we're saying we want to make sure, oh, no, we want to make sure we monitor it, and I think that's already in there.
yeah, that
Yeah,
stuff was already
That's already in
there.
there.
Step 9 was.
But
in
what
there
I'm
from
struggling
the
with is how
beginning.
does the select board interact with these projects? I mean, that's not an issue. We just deal with.
I think what we're really trying to grapple with here is. Just is somebody gotta be tasked with following up with these boards, or do we wait, is that? No,
No, I think I'm more worried about it, the select board not having a process in place to, I'm sure they will, they'll think about it, but. To look at, the cost of projects on a monthly basis. Or quarterly, wherever they think. Just because there's some big ones, and maybe it's just a matter of. It's already a well-greased wheel and we shouldn't worry about it, but I just don't know enough about
I
it.
don't think.
Like Monday, Diane Barenberg came in talking about the carpet,
Mhm.
right? Which select board approved, but it's in the package
Yes,
and it's on the list.
I'm not sure.
So that, I mean, that was done around it was done on a parallel path, right? It was submitted, but also
Mhm.
addressed directly with the select board.
Well, we had to, because it has, the dollars still have to be approved, as she understood it.
Right. This is
That's what
over
she
the
was doing, the
amount.
bids.
Yeah.
She brought the bids.
And I think it was on last year's plan.
Yeah.
I mean, the carpet for the library has been on the plan.
Yes, that wasn't taken up. It's remained, but the understanding was, once you get 3 bids, it's approved on the plan. You go get bids, then you have to bring the bidding process through to the select board. That's what she was trying to do. Well, it may not have sounded.
And so if nobody here had been at that meeting, how would we know it happened? So I guess maybe that's more what monitoring is about, what concluded.
Is that not
Get
it's really on
approved.
here now? No,
Yeah.
it already was on last year and already went through an approval process with them.
Well, it's on for,
It's on for 2026.
it's on for 2026. It wasn't on 24, 25, it was on 25, 26 or 26. So Diane, we're trying to, the library board is trying to be proactive and get things done.
Here's
So-
where I'm leaning, is that perhaps we do nothing. Because this is our first year grappling with monitoring, it's kind of like we're trying to. Invent a process before we know what we need.
What if this is just the yearly update to previously approved projects? That we in our yearly review,
Yeah, I don't think it's so much as monitoring, it's just somebody reporting some information,
So we
and then
have some idea.
we just. It just gets FYI, so to speak. I mean, we're not gonna like,
So we could really simplify this. When you finish a project, or if there are any changes to the project, you'll let the committee know.
In the category called resubmission, obviously.
I think to Corinne's point, maybe this isn't our problem. It's really the select board's problem. And what do they want? And maybe, as you're saying, Corinne, maybe for this year, we just leave that whole paragraph out. It's kind of like the giant reserve fund. It's aspirational, but until we can kind of get some momentum behind us, maybe it's something for discussion with the select board.
So we shouldn't ask them at all.
Well, I mean, our first year through, we learned a lot. We really agonized a lot over the timeline and making updates to it and shifting when we were gonna ask for things. And I guess I'm kind of thinking the same here. This is our first year monitoring. We can, I bet you in December, we'll be like, well, we wished A, B, and C, and then we can put it in there.
I'd be okay with tabling it personally. At this point, just until we have more info, but.
I'm fine tabling it also, but I do think that we need to get the boards and commissions in the habit of when something happens to a project, particularly a cost overrun. If that's gonna impact or carry over into another year that wasn't previously thought it was, I think that's important information to have as soon as possible. As opposed to waiting on an annual basis. I think that's a responsibility of managers and good government.
So why don't we just take that first sentence and change, instead of bringing it to the town clerk, treasurer, and select board, that they've got to bring it to the committee. And then take out the rest of it.
Yeah.
Just that one line, report back to the committee with any changes in timing, scope, cost
As they arrive.
as they arise.
Yeah.
And then bring it to the committee and we'll see how that goes.
Are we gonna put any qualification of like how much changes? I mean, they have all kinds of little changes that aren't really
Material.
important. I mean,
You're right. So
really significant.
what's,
Report any material variances.
Yeah,
significant,
I mean,
but what's gonna be, what are we gonna consider?
well, maybe it's a percent of the project costs, if it went over. I mean, I don't know what the right number would be.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
but-
hard, because it's 10,000 and it's
Yeah,
a million, it's gonna be a lot.
That's
I
a
mean-
question, isn't this is really, I'm sorry. This feels like the select board should be setting this and telling us what they want us to,
maybe we should ask them.
or am I like? Cause I would say anything material, I mean, it
Jim,
was
you're on mute.
10, it was, I think it was 10%.
Yeah, I'm with Angie on that. To me, to say that they've got to report it to the committee. I think we've just inserted ourselves in a process and become added to the bureaucracy. To me, yeah, I would just put some motherhood statement that, that update as you're aware of it, and send it to the clerk, the town treasurer, and the select board as they arise. And continue discussing this with the select board as to do they want a more formal process, because we can't monitor. If somebody doesn't send the information in, we don't know. There's nothing we can do. And we then get that year-end report or, go into the next budget cycle, and that's where we'll discover it. But there's no carrot, there's no stick. We just become part of the bureaucracy.
Well, here's an example, right? So the first item on the stack of submissions is for the fire station. And it says the cost is $3.5 million, yet we're going for a bond for $4.5 million. So somewhere between Monday night and the submission yesterday.
So that's for the fire station, but you gotta add the garage in. So the $4.5 million bond is for both.
That's not what I recall from the presentation from the project manager that was here, but that's also information.
Yeah. It's one project.
And it doesn't
We're
say
building
it
a
in,
new
it
fire
doesn't
station.
say it in the description.
There's been a lot of focus on the fire station because they're trying to raise funds independently.
Yeah, but the submission
But
doesn't
yeah,
say.
it's been,
Say,
But this project could have changes every other week.
this one? Oh, gosh, yeah. Yeah, daily, actually.
Yeah, it says build new fire station. I mean, it's called the fire station, you know, the North York Volunteer Fire Station, so I think.
Yeah, doesn't say anything about the garage.
Right,
so-
there's another one for the garage.
I mean, it's gonna be really hard to ever nail down any of this. I mean, timing, we could put a qualifier in there and then say the water department is 1 week behind on some
I don't
major
want to-
aspect.
Yeah,
That's not-
yeah.
And they lose
We
their
gotta
grant
do that.
funding,
Right.
you know, like, it wouldn't, there's a hard
We
and
gotta stay
fast
away from all this.
deadline of. But then, so when do we need to know? It's again, that's why I asked about goal. So if them losing their grant funding, does that affect our planning? Or how we're gonna approve future projects? Or when do we need to know? Like,
I think we need to trust those people that are overseeing the projects,
yeah,
that they're on top of that stuff.
And they're reporting the select board,
Yeah. I mean, we can't micromanage those.
but they are reporting it to the select board. They have those process set up. I'm
they
sure.
do not.
They do not.
They
There is no.
They
there
need
is-
to. I'm just,
I mean, in projects where things are changing daily, that talk about bureaucracy.
you know, it should be in a, my opinion is it should be at the select board, one of the monthly meetings of the select board. If there's anything that's,
I think good practice for any type of project management is that whenever there's a change, regardless of we come up with material or not, or timing
Yes.
or the length of time, but there has to be a formal mechanism for someone, whether it's whoever overseeing the project to formally and put it in writing to someone that this is changed.
We've talked about this when we did the move here. I was at every meeting and updated the select board to let them know where we were.
I
That's
would
what
assume
Steve's
that's in
trying to
the.
do.
And that's what
I would
Doug's
assume
trying to
that's
do
in the
now.
Project manager's role, but I.
Right.
Whether it's to this committee or the select board, I really
think
don't
it's a
care, but I think there has to be a process.
I'm with Jim in terms, this is a select board responsibility. If they request anything of us,
Put it in writing.
or if they need something. What I don't see in this, and I'd ask the question, I'm sure they have, is that where is the interim, where's the cost of the interim locations for the fire department and the town hall?
Costs, like,
Yeah, we asked that when he did his presentation, was there a plan in place for while these new buildings are being built,
Where were they going?
how are they gonna operate? And
yes.
from where and at what cost?
You'll have to ask the select board.
Yeah,
That's definitely on their list.
I would assume it's on a select board's list, because that's a biggie.
Well, hopefully somebody has thought about that in the plan.
well, it's been discussed, but I'm not sure anybody thinks there's gonna be a fee. We're just gonna go to the. Have an agreement with the state garage,
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
because they don't use this building, I guess, or
Oh, really?
aren't using it as much of it that we can,
So when they
Just
say
move
$4
in.
million and move it in, at least at long term,
well.
at least it's 20 years.
Are we drifting off topic here?
Oh, yeah, just a tad, Mr. Price.
Very
Yeah.
important things.
Thank you, all right.
All right, so
So what are we doing with this paragraph? Leaving it one sentence, taking it out, checking with the select board?
I think we draft something that says they have to report it to the select board. And let the select board determine if they want to accept this when they're reviewing the document.
Okay, so we'll take out town clerk treasurer and just say,
Just leave the first sentence
Then
and just
get the
leave
select
select
board.
board.
yep, and we'll take out everything else. Everybody agree?
Yep,
I would change from will report to are required to.
that's a good one, yeah.
Okay,
That sounds
Okay.
good. Sounds official and keeps us out of it.
there you go.
Yeah, this has been really great, thank you.
So we'll make those changes, send it out to everybody, and then, because at some point it's gotta go to the select board for approval, so we'll just review it, anybody. I'll send it out and,
Do you think
No.
it needs one more review by this board, or do you think August 4th I can take it to the select board?
I don't need to see it again.
you're, okay, guys.
Are you going to attach the modeling to it? Is that
Yes,
Gonna be in
and-
appendix?
Yes,
It'd be helpful if people could just take a look at.
you sent out an email, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
it's just got The first tab is just the overview, like the
That's a
summary
simple one to look at.
for people.
Yeah.
I don't think the select board needs to see the
I
model.
don't think so.
I think the ranking would be good.
I think it's.
I wasn't gonna attach appendixes. I've gotten lots of feedback about keeping their packet.
Uh,
smaller.
Okay, well, if
They don't care how we
If they-
rank.
They wanna
Well,
delegate
the
that.
They
pages
could find
have
if they
been-
wanted it.
If they
Well, you-
want it,
you
we can provide it.
You have outlined what the criteria are.
Right.
Just haven't given them the weightings.
Right.
Pretty much, right? Okay.
Whatever works best.
All right, so is everybody okay with
Yes,
at least moving forward, if we're moving forward, we can sending that to the select board?
yes, Godspeed.
Yes. All right, thank you. Item number 5, review of appendix D commissions, library carpet.
So I would go in the order
You want to just on the order?
of the packet,
Okay,
because, I mean, I've been working on these
Yeah.
for 3 days.
okay, so the
Um,
first one is the North Hero Fire Station. Building and equipment.
Can we bring we can't share it all on the screen.
Well, let's try it. What are we looking for?
I want appendix E.
My issue is usually finding. Appendix E 2529. It's actually.
To 2025. There's, should be the third one.
There's the public works.
41 minutes ago, it was,
September 25th.
because I put these in order of how they are in appendix E,
So
where it's the plan.
is, okay, I don't think I was in the right folder, because I went to documents, appendix E, and I don't see multiple versions.
So you went to the volunteer, go to the volunteer.
Here's a question about the forms just in general.
Yeah.
The first one, the fire department. The study design has a cost. And if you go back in the packet, you find the public works garage. And it also has a cost, which is exactly the same. So I would assume it's one cost.
Nope, it's.
They're each 119,000.
Yep, so it was 240
Both
split
costing
in
the
half.
same. Okay.
So the study design, they've split the cost between the two
Okay,
projects,
I was hoping.
50%.
So, it's supposed to go to volunteer or to?
Yep, the capital improvement committee volunteer,
Okay.
and then go to documents. And then go to appendices, CIP appendices and guidance, and then go to appendices and water asset management, and then appendix E. And then appendix E, and can I share?
I
Probably
don't
not,
know. I see 42
because
minutes.
you'll see that it's all. So,
I'm sorry, please, can you just repeat what you just said about they allocated the design?
so there's soft costs, the engineering, the
Yeah.
site work, all of that, we've split 50-50 between the fire station and the public works garage.
Curious why they split it 50%, given one is 3.5 million and one is 1 million.
Yeah, I had the same question about the contingency and the project management fees, but
Do you want to see the budget?
No, I just wanted to know.
That just
No.
jumped out of my head,
Yeah.
it's like, does it?
That's the way we've been doing it. All the architectural fees have been 50-50 right
Oh,
down, so that's the way we did it.
so even though, just asking yourself, just bear with me, and if there's no wrong or right or wrong answer here. The contingencies, like both the project is remarkably different, like one is, $3 million and the other one is 1.6 million. But the contingencies are exactly the same.
50%.
Yeah, but if it should be 50% of the cost of it should be a percentage of the cost of the construction. I can't imagine a $3.5 million building should have the same contingency as a 1.6 million, and that's what we're saying here. That's what they're saying to us. And if that's how you do it, that's not my decision, but it just that jumps out. Same with the project we bought.
So we can do that. We originally figured the fire station was 2/3 the cost and the public works was gonna be 1/3. Is that how you want to divide it out?
I don't think we're commenting on what it should be, it's just,
No.
it doesn't sound
It's not how I would do it, but we're doing a
equitable based on the
big
project.
project. It's based upon the cost of the project
The
itself.
contingency fund,
Yes,
correct.
yeah, and this one isn't. This is just split down the middle.
So
So
based on some percentage of the overall.
Yes.
So let's just say that overall it was 10%, so you're looking at $450,000, let's make this up. I think what
I mean-
Angie's saying is that the majority of it should be. For the contingency should not be split 50,000, 200 and, what was that? 75 or whatever it is,
I mean, 96,
225
yeah,
each, it should be. A percentage of the respective project.
a $3.5 million project with a less than $100,000 contingency is, that's, that'd be hard to, I mean, it's low in my opinion, but.
So,
I can't get it to let me share.
okay,
That, but we don't need to
Do that.
go down that road.
No,
That's just a.
that's the comment. Yeah, I'm sorry, it is a comment, but it's a,
Was this decided by the folks that are developing these two projects? Or the
yes,
project manager, that the project manager is the same person, right?
yes.
Generally, an auditor would look at the cost that are ascribed to a project and they would
Right.
probably question why. The town garage in this case is getting allocated more money for contingency
on a percent
on a
basis.
percentage basis compared to the fire station.
So this is one project. As far as the auditor and I
Yeah.
are looking at it, and it's coming out of one fund. It's all gonna be expense, but we're gonna go 2/3 to the fire station and 1/3 to, so.
Maybe
Because
that's
I
how
broke
should
it up
be
this
set,
way.
the budget.
Well, because the bond lawyer, I've been working with him today to draft the bond vote information. And he did want it broken out and I told him I didn't have that information. I just gave him what was in the draft letter that we compiled based on the project manager's information. And so soft costs, construction costs, contingencies, all one project.
All one project. It's all,
That's how it's
we're
gonna be
considering
voted.
it one project.
The trouble is people haven't realized because there's been so much information about the fire station that we're doing two projects. So we've been trying to break it out a little more to kind of spread the word that you're actually, the $4.5 million is for two buildings. We just need to do better marketing.
And what is the fundraising gonna cover?
Right, I thought, yeah, because when he presented in here, he made it sound like they were doing the lion's share of funding
Is
this.
that?
Maybe I
What's the
misunderstood.
fundraising, whatever money is
I could-
generated for fundraising, what is that going for?
Specifically to the fire station. That's part of the reason why we separated it into two, was so that people would donate to the fire station portion of it and not the town garage. So that it's not really, we didn't think it was kosher to ask people to donate to the town.
So when we put this up in front of the town at the annual meeting, they're gonna say, I think someone's gonna ask the same questions we did. Why is the contingency the same for both? And why is the project management fees the same for both? If one costs, if we're doing it as separate projects, which is what we're doing for the presentation, right?
So
Will it be one,
that is, these,
will it be one project?
You got it as one number, right?
Yeah.
So it's really about how we want to allocate it out here.
right,
So we can put it all on one project D sheet.
yeah, and
Yeah.
we're not gonna show anybody submission Ds. Right,
But we could change those numbers if we wanted to, and it would not impact the project in
At
any
all?
way,
No,
Right.
okay.
for our purposes.
but yeah, if
But
you wanna
maybe-
do something different, but this is, I'm going off this project budget. Pre-construction costs, it's not broken down by fire state, it's all.
Yeah.
You know, so I just 50/50 cost of construction, we have a cost for the fire station, a cost for the town garage, and a cost for the civil work. And then the contingency. And then we have the project management fees.
Well, it's fine, it's really one project, it doesn't.
If the lawyer wasn't asking for a breakdown, you might have categories, right, of soft cost, hard cost, not allocation between two projects.
He wanted to know. And I could look at it. And I explained it to him, he was fine. He was like, oh, okay. I think it's just unusual. Do you have a breakdown of each project cost? That was his question. And I said, well, it's one project. And he said, okay.
For finance reasons, it's one project. They're gonna be built at the same time, where previously it was discussed that the fire station would be built first and then the public works garage, so it was gonna be two projects. It's now one project. Which is why, so the total cost of the
Picture, it doesn't
whole-
really matter as much,
project is
Doesn't.
5.2.
right?
It's kind
Not
of.
gonna impact the
It's not like
project,
this.
sounds like it's not gonna impact
No.
the finance part. And we can decide how strongly we feel about, you know, how the numbers and the pro rata portion.
I don't care, if it's just one project, and that's what we're looking. at.
So we've got the fire station. And then I took,
Excuse me, so when the donations come in, will they come into one big pot and they'll be spent on the one project? Or will the donations, just curious about the fund.
so the donations are going directly to the fire station, fire department, and they'll turn that over to us and it will go towards the,
The whole project
for the fire station,
for the fire station,
station portion.
not.
We're not gonna get 3 point something million dollars to pay for the fire station. So what we do get will go towards the fire station, just like the $900,000 that was put, the voters authorized to put into the reserve fund for the public works garage will be spent on the public works garage. No,
Oh, no, I'm just thinking of your numbers. You said 900.
we have $900,000
So we put-
reserved
we have
for
to-
the public works. It was from surplus, highway surplus. And that was voted on to put into the reserve fund for the public works garage,
But when we go to bond, when we go out to vote for the bond, it's gonna be for the combined
combined.
total.
4.5, so the project is 5.2, we have $900,000. And the difference, so we're asking for voters to borrow up to 4.5. And when we get the bids in and know exactly what our costs are going to be, then we will apply for the bond for what we need.
Will any money raised through donations decrease the bonding amount?
Right now, we have about $21,000.
So it's not gonna be.
It's not gonna be significant, no.
At this point, they're talking about not even turning the money over to the town, but using it as outfitting money. So the fire department would keep it and they'd buy the racks for their gear and the tables for the conference room. And
The furniture, that kind of thing.
we were hoping for a more sizable sum that would offset
Thank you.
construction, but the what?
Big screen TV.
Yeah, dumb.
So what do we need to do with these two?
So. I mean, so I have put them into appendix, whatever. But then-
It's too many appendixes.
So appendix, E. Which is our, you have that, right, Jim? I sent that to you.
He's on.
So if you remember, appendix E has the fiscal years, all the projects by fund. And then at the bottom is the recap. So they're all in there.
Jim, you're on mute.
Yeah, I was looking at Appendix D, I've switched to Appendix E.
This is all of them, I can use this for the model.
This is all of them. So. And the library was the only one that submitted anything.
Which means you did the others. Yeah,
So I updated the water. The 2 projects for the water with those are current numbers for the water projects. And then the library submitted theirs. I went through the 10-year plan for the community hall and added their items.
Have they voted on them as a board?
nope. So and we don't even know from the other boards like Parks and Rec if they just don't have any.
I don't think it did.
Anything over 10,000 probably. No.
And how is the Public Works Department, it says they're gonna buy their truck out of reserve, will that be out of the 900 or?
Nope. So we have a capital equipment fund
That's fine.
and so we
Answers the
projected
question.
that truck to be 225,000 and trade-in value, I Googled it, it was about 80,000, so we get trade-in value, and then by what are we buying it, 2027, 2028, 2029, whatever year,
I
we
think-
would have the difference in the reserve fund. We put $35,000 a year in the capital equipment fund for the public works, so we would have that funding.
I would just say, if we haven't heard from some of the other groups, particularly the community hall, 'cause they're-
I'm gonna check with the community hall,
we just need to know if the board, that this is what they want to do. I'm sure it is, but.
what they want.
I would think
to
we just
include.
really need to.
Yep.
I'm assuming. that.
Yeah.
Just go through the process.
Yep.
It's time like reappraisal.
I mean, cemeteries.
The townwide reappraisal that's a done deal, that we have
Yeah.
a contract that is going forward and we will have the funds for that. So that's a done.
We have
that's-
vault. pretty.
You need
We
an
do have a
automatic.
wall. You can come down.
I
feel it.
don't know,
It's
thank you.
nice and cool in there. We should all sit down there right now. It's warmer up here than I thought. Yeah.
So this is everything that I know of that is happening in the next 6 years. So 2026
And the
is the
cemetery,
year we're in. I don't have anything from the
they
cemetery.
want to put in a columbarium. That's like 40 grand.
So maybe we need to get with them too.
Yeah,
Which one?
cemetery. And I'm probably saying this wrong, but one of those big concrete things you slide remains in and out of. Yeah,
Yeah.
Interesting.
yeah. It's on their last minutes.
I'm just curious on the state, how the town library appraisal, is the state mandated town library appraisal is required every 6 years. Our last appraisal was 2014.
That's new in 2025. So
Oh, that's
going
a-
forward, we need to plan on
Every 6
that
years.
every 6 years. Yes.
I would say as a public service announcement for this committee and the process that you all have set up so well, is it has. The library board is thinking about these things now, and they're thinking about, kind of planning out for the future, which is a really good thing. It wouldn't have happened had you guys not put this
And you had to do a
structure.
bang up job. You had a special meeting and these sheets are
Yeah.
great. And
Yeah.
Good job.
I mean,
Really, Caroline has done a wonderful job.
the outdoor spaces, like what a way to transition from an addition to. Yeah, anyway,
We get lots of feedback, the spaces are not connected, and they feel that way all the time, and so, but then we did those spaces before there was any sort of conversation about it. It's like, oh, let's do this, let's do that, and now we're saying, how do we make this work? And so,
well, the idea of tying them together for event space too, like if
Yeah.
there's a big tent or something,
Exactly.
that's pretty,
they
anyway,
did a beautiful.
side
Helen
tangent,
McCarthy.
sorry.
Yeah, Helen.
So does anyone feel the need to go through each of these individually, or maybe the thing to do is just if anyone has any questions about any specific project?
Well, having reviewed them, I don't have concerns about any of them individually from this board's perspective. I think the next step is for Frank, if you're willing to stick them in the model.
Yep. It's on me.
Any other questions on this?
No, I'm good.
All right,
You need me to ask the
Thank you, Frank.
community committee anything, or we're gonna,
I'll get with them. They haven't met.
yeah,
yet.
it's not, what's someone,
I'll,
thank you,
I'll get with them and then I'll get with cemetery too.
if they want to include something,
Um,
awesome.
So are you saying that you're gonna check in with some of the groups that haven't submitted? them?
Or we filled them out, but they haven't, maybe. They just need to verify them.
Yeah.
That's what they want. One of the cemetery hasn't submitted, is that right?
right.
all right, we'll move on to item number 6, report on the Vermont Government Finance Officer Association seminar.
Go ahead. Frank and I both attended.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
And,
That's great.
From the Vermont Bond Bank was there to give a presentation and I felt really good about what we're doing. I felt like we were really on track with what they were presenting.
I agree.
Yeah.
I was also, transitioning from the private sector to public has been an eye opener for me. In terms of how things go on, as
Procedures.
rules, but also just the way, like, the speed at which things move or don't move. And I was really, really surprised when we were hearing that there was a town that was attending that was still cleaning up from Hurricane Irene.
Oh
I
my
mean,
gosh.
that's a real problem for me and personally, like in this state, like between the government and the state, that they can't help this town, like resolve some of their issues.
Tell you
Thank
horror
you.
stories about hospitals trying to get things done if you ever want to hear.
That's really bad. So bad.
Truly.
Which is why I think they were stressing why capital planning is so important that, because it takes so long to,
Yeah,
It's
that's
great
a-
now, but it doesn't help them from 2011.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
right?
It's gotta be some.
Yeah.
Helping out. But it was good.
It was
It
good.
was good. Good presentation by Ken
Mhm.
and the other folks that were talking about the town level issues.
Great, thank you.
Yeah,
Item number 7, timeline review timeline and determine next steps.
yeah, so. I will make a note and I'll go into the settings and see if I. Is it, yeah, I've had other meetings be able to share this.
SharePoints is one of the things that is being targeted by Chinese
Is it?
hackers.
Maybe Lisa or Corinne, if either of you have that up, you can just talk about what's on the timeline for the next couple of months. From a projection perspective.
So July, we're supposed to get and review the appendix Ds. Review historic trends and yeah, so they were due July 1st, review historic trends, and then review of appendix D, current capital project submissions. And then in August, we again have that, and we talked about inviting the planning commission. In August, we do the project ranking and approve final form of the CIP.
Sounds good. We're talking about inviting the planning committee to the August meeting or,
So, yeah, and so we talked about inviting them to see if they wanted to have any input, and maybe Pat, you know. And then we were gonna present to the planning commission in September. Is what our plan was.
Yeah. They're not, well, they're undertaking, you know.
They're
I mean,
going
the-
through a regulation review.
Yeah.
They're pretty busy.
so we'll just plan on.
maybe
We'll
September.
allow you to report back
Okay,
and,
makes-
yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
Lisa, can you repeat what you said about approve the CIP program?
approve final form of this, the plan, the final form of the plan that gets presented to the planning commission and the select board.
So the projects themselves. We're gonna get the
The
ranking.
plan, yeah, not the program.
Yeah, so
Okay.
we'll review the
Chris again?
ranking and they'll all be put into that, what, it's appendix F or, or G, like
G.
there's, and that's what gets submitted to the select board.
Yeah, okay, so make sure I understand. But in terms of, we're referring to this as the program,
Okay, that's it, that, the reading part,
so
not,
we'll-
not this.
we'll, any feedback from the
Changes
select
made.
board. We'll
We're gonna
determine
present
if we need to make any changes.
We're reviewing the ranking of these next in August.
Yes,
So we would do that, we would do that also in August
the,
program.
If there's any feedback from
If
the
there's any
select board.
feedback from the select board,
at the August meeting, yes, because we're gonna present.
Mhm, so August
at
4th.
August 4th, so we'll have
okay,
it-
perfect. So-
any feedback from
Yeah.
before the meeting, before our meeting.
Sounds good.
Can I ask a question about this? What exactly is review historic trends?
That's what we were talking about tonight.
Oh,
with
that-
Step
that-
9, like what is monitoring, what do we
okay, that
want,
Historic trends.
Yeah.
okay. Uh-huh.
I think, is that,
Yeah, I think historically, if, are there things that come due or that we need to know about or,
Okay.
yeah.
That will become more relevant with each successive year of this planning process,
Modesty.
right?
Yeah.
And the one thing that isn't. Oh, yeah. So that was July too. Is the appendix A, B, and C, the fleet and maintenance schedules, which I have not worked on.
yeah, one of our hopes this next year was to put together an inventory of roads and have like a revolving schedule, but with the big
That's a
projects
good-
moving through the
that's-
town.
Fine. That next year.
And just,
And I don't know of any other than we did get a new fire truck. So,
I think the library's waiting for their pavement, their paving, their road, all over. Somewhere, someday.
Okay. Any other questions on the timeline review?
Now you guys are scanning a lot.
All right, future agenda items, item number 8, future agenda items is for our next meeting. And any other time, so we talked about
Feedback.
the feedback from the select board on the program.
Do you think it's too early? Should we ask the select board anything at all about? Wow. They should have this, how they're gonna, our role in, I even want to say this, our role in monitoring projects or not? Leave it alone, right?
I think we leave it alone.
Yeah, I'm with you. I just wanted to be clear.
So then we'll also we'll review the Frank's analysis
Yeah.
from inputting the data into the model. And then we will approve the plan at that August meeting.
well, I think what we'll want to do is just have a, follow up on what the select board said. Oh, the plan,
Plan.
not the program.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's the actual item, you guys see, yeah. it's
The
for
first
the
item is the feedback from the select board on the
Okay.
Plan,
program.
program.
Next item is the model review, the model results review. And then. Would you say, based on the timeline, Lisa, that we have to approve the plan?
Program.
Project ranking approved final form of CIP. Because September, we present it to the planning commission, October it goes to select
So we have
board.
to approve the plan.
And look, we have to see it in. Okay. We have to see it.
Okay. So feedback from SB on program, review ranking model, approve final CIP.
Anything else?
Usual timeline review.
Yeah, well, yeah,
So Frank, I would make all cemetery, and if cemetery does have a submission and a change, I'll send those to you. So that you can have the updated information.
Yeah, the community hall said, but I'm sure they'll plan all those things. It's a big one, something.
There's been a couple today.
any other comments or questions about anything else?
Yeah,
Before
I have
we
a quick
adjourn?
question for Frank. On your ranking model that you send out, second tab, project ranking example, which I think is great. For the two water projects, you're showing a total cost in column Q. I don't expect you to open this now if you just want to take a quick note. Total cost in column Q, and then you're not showing what years it's in. So you can just put the numbers wherever you want, but everything else adds up back to column Q, but for projects in lines 3 and 4, the two water department projects, you're not showing where all the money is. So for example, one of them is total cost 1.8 million and you're showing 1.3 million in 2025, but nothing after that.
Yeah, so that was last year's. That was like the starting point last year.
Right.
I
So if you just want to plug in the
Yeah.
numbers, since it's
I'll
just
update this
an
one
example, just
project,
plug the numbers
and
in.
I don't think we knew exactly where these, the projects were.
Yeah.
Nascent back then.
And-
Since it's an example, it doesn't really matter. You're just showing how it works. And if people
Yeah.
like me look at it, go, okay, well, why doesn't it add up?
Okay, make it even simpler.
And I put the water tank all in 2026 because it's gonna be done by the fall. And the Route 2, I kind of divided, because I don't know where that's gonna fall, because it's gonna go into 2027.
Right.
So,
Okay.
that was just a guess before I put those numbers, so.
Sounds right, as of now.
But otherwise,
Alright.
it's great. I like the ranking example. It really kind of explains stuff.
Thank you, Jim. All right, do we have a motion for adjournment?
So
Did you
moved.
adjourn?
Second.
I'm sorry, before we do that, we just confirm the next meeting date of this group is
August 27th.
August 27th?
August
Right.
27th.
August 27th. All right, thank you.
You
Motion to
good?
adjourn.
Did you adjourn?
Frank, second.
Second.
Angie, all those in favor?
Bye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you,
Thank you so
everyone.
much.
Thank you. Corinne.
Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Have a good evening.
Good night,
Thank you,
Jim.
Hey, Jim.